speak to this scenario. How does that look if you take 4K out of your building and you put 450 full-time students in Spruce Street?
Mind if I stand? Is that right?
Please.
Thank you. You know, when we put this schedule together, or this proposal together as administrators, I got thinking about listening to the voices of the pre-K-12 leaders in our district, and I got thinking about all of our elementary schools, and if I could just give you a little scenario that happened tonight, I think it helped me solidify how I can answer the question tonight. We were in a kindergarten meeting after school tonight, and we're responsible at Spruce Street for Sauk Prairie Nursery and St. Al's 4K. And one of our parents came to us, one of our Hispanic parents, a young father, who had lost his son. He couldn't find him temporarily. And he came to us, and the kindergarten team looked at me and said, let's cancel the meeting, you need to help with that. So I went into the office, and both secretaries immediately jumped into, we need to figure it out. Anyhow, after about 35 minutes, the father stayed with us. We brought in one of our teachers who is bilingual. And that father, the whole time, was very emotional, and he didn't know what to do. And we just kept staying with it. And I got thinking about why I've been struggling with this journey. And it's because I feel like sometimes I'm a part of the district, but at times I'm struggling with my individual identity at Spruce or pieces I represent. And this father gave me a perspective tonight of that we needed to come to his aid, and we were all one. And as idealistic as I am, and as much as I struggle sometimes with having both feet on the ground, I left that experience with that father, and he said, with tears in his eyes, thank you so much. And I said, no, thank you for showing us your love as a father. And I got thinking about that, knowing that you were probably going to give me the opportunity to share tonight about how I feel with Spruce Street. I look at it this way. In this journey of about 2 years to decide what to do, I look at all the administrators that I walk with, I look at all the children in the schools that we have, and I feel that it impacts Spruce this way. You take, if Marie is our 4K program right now at Spruce Street, we have 85 children that represent our 4K program. If Carol is our K2 children, we have 350 plus K2, for a total of 440, 450 children, rough math, all right? So we have 85 what we will call part-time children, and we have 350 plus full-time children. So if you see my math, we have a learning community of about 450. In this proposal that we brought to you tonight, we take these little ones that are part-time and we say, right now our plan is not to have you at Spruce Street like you are now. And we take this group and we say, we're going to add to your family of full-time learners. We're going to take the 350 learners that we have there now, and if this is something we think we want to do as a district, we need to very carefully figure out a way to welcome 100 K2 learners to your family. So now we're adding 100 K2, kindergarten to second grade learners to your family. Thank you for letting me use both of you as examples. So what that does is, it puts us in a position where we've added more full-time students. And as we've added those full-time students, then what it means is, if you look at class sizes, the class sizes look similar at first grade and second grade, and there's an increase at kindergarten. And so then we look at our school life, and you look at our staff of 80, and you look at what was 354, and now you're at 450. And you look at lunches, and you say, how can we do lunches differently? Well, what we want to do is we know that the traditional way of having them come in, enjoy lunch, sit together, and leave together may not be the way to go. Maybe what we're going to do is change the way we do it. We will bring you in, and when you're done, we will have you leave, which means that we'll need to have care pieces along the way. And also then we look at specials. We'll have to look at the way we do specials a little bit differently. When we've sat down with our staff, we've said, maybe we need to create a way where we use our whole campus, because we know with only one gym, we probably aren't going to be able to do the things we've done before. So in other words, what we've tried to look at is, if this is a way to go, and Mr. Bender touched on it beautifully tonight, this is, in a sense, a phase. To look at adding 100 K2 children to our learning community. We've talked about maybe becoming an early learning center. We've talked about possibly moving people around the district. But as we've been challenged to look as a pre-K-12 district, we've said that vision of having a learning community of 450 now may not be the direction we want to go in the future. But what we've tried to do is take our staff as best we can and look at children and say, if we become that learning community of 450, how do we not get by? How do we not just exist, but how do we maybe do things differently as we grow into a vision of not the perfect plan, but a vision of growing together through phases. So without a doubt, if my math is correct, you've got the same number of children in that building, but clearly you've made them full-time students now rather than in that inclusive 4K program. And you take those 4K children who have been a very important part of our learning community, and we've decided now to have them grow in a different way. So some decisions have been made in this that definitely create thoughts for the board and also for us as leaders as we continue to move forward. Does that help us get